Hello everyone, welcome back. Another topic of class 11, the Browning version, in which the stats of a teacher is given and in which it is portrayed that each and every teacher is equally important to the students and how students feel about them after they're about to leave or they're about to go out. So, the story is about, or we can say it's about Tableau. It's about the first character is Tableau, another character Mr. Crocker Harris, who is a school teacher, and Frank, who is another school teacher, but he is the modern one. That means a person who is liberal. This one is real strict. So the scene is school quarters where Mr. Crocker Harris, he is going to leave the school after 18 years, and Tableau, being one of the student, comes to just take last call from that teacher, or last assignment, or we can say last have a last chit chat with that teacher. And teacher, he's not at home, as it is the residential apartment of Mr. Harris, and Mr. Frank is over there. Millie Harris is over there, who is wife of Mr. Crocker Harris. So Mr. Frank is there, so he just strikes a conversation with this Tableau, this boy. Tableau waiting for his, he came to know through the conversation that Tableau is waiting for his result, and this teacher, Mr. Harris, is strict and he wants principal or headmaster to announce the results, and his result is being withheld, this Tableau's, and his conversation delivers inside that Tableau's mind what is there inside him. He likes more science than literature. He says, Agamemnon, I do not like this story, or I don't like that movie, or we can say that literary piece. I like science, and he has more, he gives more importance to science than literature, this Tableau. And he points out terrible way of teaching of Mr. Harris, because Mr. Harris is too strict and each and every student thinks him to be a terrible teacher. Tableau to do extra work for missing his class a week ago, as it was the assignment of Tableau that he has to do extra work for missing a class week ago. That's why he has come over here. So Frank remarks that Tableau will be benefited by these assignments, but Tableau has a different feeling. He says different teachers have different traits, that mean individual traits. Each and every teacher is not same. So our Mr. Harris, Crocker Harris, is totally different from others. As per Tableau, Harris is different and inhuman. When asked anything about the result, he says that is exactly you deserve, no less, certainly no more. For these teacher, for students, that teacher is very strict. That teacher is not a kind of good man who is not frank with them. And that in modern education, we need to be more frank. We need to be more we can say friendly in the class. So here this person, he is being called as a person who is inhuman, because he never just admits our problems. He says, this is what you deserve, that's why I have given it to you. That's why it's no less than what you deserve and no more than what you certainly deserve. So Frank points out that Mr. Harris is late, and Tableau can go out and play golf. So after the conversation is prolonged, after some time, Mr. Frank, who is a modern teacher, he says that Tableau can go out and play golf because Mr. Harris has kept him waiting and he's not approaching. So Frank feels a kind this this Tableau, he is a little surprised that his teacher has given him permission. But Frank is envious about Mr. Harris for the influence he has on his student, because he has come over here to bid farewell to Mr. Harris. So Mr. Frank asks Tableau whether Mr. Harris beats them. So another being envious about Mr. Harris, Mr. Frank asks about that, is he a kind of a teacher who beats? But here this Tableau says, he answers that he's not a sadist. He's a kind of a teacher who does not vent out frustration on us. It's not that if he is frustrated in life, he does not vent out that frustration on us. He's a good teacher and he teaches us well. So in spite, each and everyone likes Mr. Harris for his honest nature. Mr. Harris comes and informs Taplow that Mrs. Harris, it may take a while for Mr. Harris to arrive. He can go out for half an hour. As there are three people in this room now, Mr. Harris is not there. It is Miss Harris, Mr. Frank, and Taplow. As these two people, they have a kind of an affair, Mrs. Harris and Mr. Frank. So what Mrs. Harris wants Taplow to go out and enjoy outside, because it will take certain time for Mr. Harris to return. So she just tries to show him the door, but he can go out for half an hour. So she hands over Taplow a prescription and asks him to get the medicines. Taplow accepts it and leaves Frank and Mrs. Harris behind. So this is the summary of the chapter. Now we go through critical appreciation. It says that writer wants to state that teachers are not bad, as all they want is good for their students. None of your teachers is bad. Each and every student wants his teacher to shine and be a person who will just come with good terms in his future, or we can say who can come up with good terms in his coming days. So Mr. Harris is a gifted classical scholar and unpopular schoolmaster who worked for 18 years in the same school, trying to become something of a character which could reach out to his students. So sometimes it is that teacher is not able to reach out to his students, but this man, Mr. Harris, he was a gifted scholar, but he's not a kind of a popular schoolmaster, because he was not able to reach out to his students. He tried it for 18 years. He tried to be different, but he was not able to do so because he was strict and he was honest for the things. The chapter is a case study of the lifetime of emotional repression. This is a case study of lifetime this emotional repression. That means repression of emotions. Emotions have been repressed by this Mr. Harris. Mr. Harris has clearly taken the view in life that it is better to repress his emotions than to let them get better of him. That means he does not want himself to land in something bad. That's why he has repressed his emotions always, and he is having this view that by repressing his emotions he will not get caught in any of the problems. But the quiet sorrow that surrounds him suggests that this has been a grave error, that he has made an error by just suppressing his emotions, by that repressing his emotions inside him. So he has made a great mistake, and it is obvious from his life, or we can say the things that surround his life. The Browning version was to present the relationship between a student and a teacher, but instead of his anger, his words show his love and dedication towards his teacher, Mr. Harris. Frank quite failed in tempting Taplow to abuse Mr. Harris. Look, it is the chapter which shows a relationship between a teacher and a student, but instead here, anger of his words of this Taplow showed a kind of a love and dedication towards him. Though he is angry, but he has a kind of a love and dedication towards his teacher. Though Mr. Frank tried to just tempt Taplow to abuse Mr. Harris, but he's not doing so. He is somehow, in one or the other way, he's inspired by that very teacher, but maybe his disciplinary approach or the strictness he had, he is somehow just impressed by that behavior. The setting of this single act play, it's a single act play. There are no more acts. It is single act play. It is on the same stage at the same. The stage has not changed. The scene has not changed. It is single act play. So it's a sitting room of an accommodation for masters at a public school occupied by Mr. Harris and his wife. So it is a quarter. We call it a quarter of teachers. It's we can say accommodation of teachers, which is occupied by Mr. Harris and his wife. And the setting of the chapter is over there. And remember this very thing, that it is a single act play. The major themes addressed in the play are success, failure, generosity, apathy, etc. So the main themes of this chapter are that how a person gets success and how not, how a person faces failure and how not, and generosity, what is the role of generosity and what is the role of apathy in the life of a human being. So that was all in this very video. Hope you liked it. Thank you very much.